Alhamdulillah. Again for the fifth session. Inshallah, today we're going to continue with our lessons. We're going to start talking about sentences. Right? Okay. We have actually, before this, we have learned about the types of words or the parts of speech, where we identify the different forms of nouns, the different forms of verbs, and prepositions and particles. So then last week we talked about phrases. It's actually a combination of two words, in a certain manner, so that it gives you a single meaning, as well as the adjectives, the mudaf, mudaf ilayh, the possessive, and mawsul sifah, the adjectives, right? So after we learn about the words, the phrases, now we go to the sentence, the last part of grammar. Okay, right. So let's continue then. Okay, when we talk about sentence, the Arabic term for it is jumlah. Jumlah sentence. Then in the Quran, there's also ayat. So ayat and jumlah is different. The ayat in the Quran will be those combination of words that are at the end of those row of words will be the circular round number in the round circle, right? In the circle number. That is per ayat. Yeah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You have a circle after it, and there's the number one there. So it's the first ayat. Okay. So those ayats. So in the situation of jumlah, it's just a complete sentence. It's a complete sentence. Meaning sometimes one ayat can have two or more jumlas, and sometimes two ayats, when they're combined, they become one jumlah, one sentence. Okay, we can see that later, inshallah, in the examples. Okay, so jumlah, the meaning is an arrangement of several words that provide a complete sentence, a complete meaning. That you wouldn't want to, you need not ask any more questions to that sentence. Because it's a complete sentence that gives its full meaning. So there are two types of sentences, which is the nominal sentence. The Arabic term is jumlah ismiyah, where the whole sentence comprises nouns, right? When it comprises nouns, there are no verbs, so it's a nominal sentence or jumlah ismiyah. Okay, and the subject, and we look for the subject and the predicate. Okay, subject and the predicate. Okay, so the subject is isim or noun, or the sentence begins with an isim. So sometimes you begin with an inna. You have an inna. Inna is not an isim. It's a particle. But you have isim after that. Actually, there's a jumlah ismiyah. There is a nominal sentence with the inna in the front, like kana also. You will learn about that. The two different situations where you have kana, inna. Inna, kana at the beginning of the sentence. Okay. So when only nouns appear in the sentence, it will be more than often, it will be a jumlah ismiyah, right? Then you have jumlah fi'liyah, which is called verbal sentence. The verbal sentence, the subject is a fi'l, it's a verb. Okay? Or the sentence begins with a verb, with a fi'l. Okay? Alright? So those are two things. You have nominal sentence and verbal sentence. Okay? Right. So what you need to know in a nominal sentence, jumlah ismiyah. So just like English, when we talk about a nominal sentence, there's no verb there. You have a subject and you have a predicate. Okay? Where the subject is the main item that you are discussing, and the predicate is the story about that subject. right? So what you do, just identify where the mubtada, the subject, and where the predicate, the khabar, mubtada and khabar. Okay, so subject and predicate, right? So both the subject and the predicate, both the mubtada and khabar, will be in the rafa, except when there are haraf without within them. Okay, I think I need to adjust this a little, right? Well, what is saying that when it's a nominal sentence, it's a nominal sentence or noun-based sentence, you just need to identify which portion is the subject, which is the predicate. I think it's very similar to English, where the normally the first portion of the sentence will be subject and the second portion will be predicate. Normally or generally, okay, and both the isim in the subject portion and the predicate portions are in rafa, meaning that they will end with a dhamma for singular, or for singular, and for plural be waw nun at the end of the word, right? So let's take this for example. Okay, the first example you have al madrasatu jamilatun. Then you have al madrasatu with an alif lam being definite. There's no tanwin. There's just a dhamma, and jamilatun is a tanwin. Dhamma tiny there. So this is what we call a complete sentence, where al madrasatu jamilatun. Okay, the school is beautiful. So how do you know where is the subject and the predicate? Is where you drop in the verb to be, either is or was or were. Okay, in Arabic you don't have any, it lacks is, are, was or were. It lacks that. It doesn't have that. So you need to know where to fill up when you translate in English. So al-madrasatu jamilatun, the school is beautiful. So both the subject portion is in rafa with a dhamma on the star, and the predicate portion is also rafa. So the second example you have madrasatul zaidin jamilatun. Okay, now the subject portion of it, you have two words in the form of mudhaf mudhaf ilaih. Madrasatul zaidin, Zaid school, or the school of Zaid. Is that school? That's why Zaid is in majrur with a kasrataini on the last letter, and madrasatu lost its tanwin. So again, you can see that the subject portion, uh, the mudhaf you start with a dhamma, with a rafa, but the mudhaf ilaih, as you know, is in jar. So that's why Zaidin takes a kasratain. Okay, so the smaller the word form is has more influence in determining the grammar of that the grammar position, the grammatical position of the word. In this case, to Zaidin, even though Zaidin is in the mubtada portion, as we said earlier, it should be in rafa with a dhamma, but since it's in another relationship, a smaller relationship, a stronger relationship of mudhaf mudhaf ilaih, so Zaidin takes a kasrataini. So it's in jar, and jamilatun remains the same. Okay, right? Is there any question you want to ask? So everyone can follow, inshallah.
We have to identify the isim first.
Yeah. If Jumlah is all isim, so then you identify whether there's a phrasal form or not. In this case, there's a phrasal form of mudhaf mudhaf ilaih between madrasatu and Zaidin. So Zaidin, despite being in the mubtada, still takes a kasra because it's in jar. Because the relationship of mudhaf mudhaf ilaih is a stronger determination of its grammatical condition, right?
Okay.
Right. Now we have the third example. We have Madrasatul Zaidin, just at the top. And we have Jamilatun wa Kabiratun. If there's a wa there, means and. So everything takes a rafa, Dhamma tiny. Because a wa doesn't influence and doesn't have any grammatical influence. And the last example, wal fitnatu ashaddu min al qatl. So wal fitnatu is the subject portion. It takes the subject, takes the dhamma, but in the khabar or in the predicate portion, we have al qatli because he has an haraf jar before it, a preposition before it. So it still takes a kasra. Okay, because this the haraf jar has a stronger influence than their position within the mubtada area or the khabar area, sorry. Okay, the predicate area. Okay, so that's what I mean. Meaning, generally, if there are no other influence, the nouns in a nominal sentence will be in rafa. Like the first example, everything will be in dhamma or dhamma tiny. But if there are other influence like the mudhaf ilaih or haraf jar majrur, then that takes precedence. Okay, that takes precedence. That is more powerful. Okay. Any question? Right. So that is the jumlah ism. Yeah. Now we go to the jumlah fi'lah, the verbal sentence. Okay. So what you need to know in verbal sentence is these are the things. First, you need to know every verb, whether it's a mudhari, is a madi or an amr. Okay, perfect tense, imperfect tense, or command verb, it must have a doer. Every verb, there must be a doer. Okay, so the doer is known as fa'il. These are fi'il, the verbs. So the doer, which also the subject, we term as the subject, is we call it fa'il, the doer. It's just like isim fa'il, this is a fa'il, the same word. Fa'il, the doer. Okay, and most of the verbs will have the verb can be transitive or intransitive. Meaning if it's transitive, then it has an object after it. If it's intransitive, then you don't have an object. Just like let's say I hit the ball, I eat the cake, there is a transitive verb. You have a verb and you have the object. Like I hit the ball is the object. I eat the cake. But some verbs like I walk, I sleep, I sit, these are verbs to the object. This is what called intransitive verb. Then you will not have an object. Then the object is called, under the Arabic term is maf'ulun bihi. So as you know, maf'ulun bihi is in the form of the passive isim form. For passive isim is maf'ulun, the one being done upon, the object. So the one being done upon with it, with the he goes to the verb. So that is called maf'ulun bihi. So it's object. So you don't have to memorize the term. We can use the term subject and object. The object, the target of the verb, and its condition for transitive verbs. Okay, because in the sentence you have an object, then you have some other words that is adjectives or some other words detailing or explaining the condition of that object. That is all comes under object, and then we come under the object portion. Right? Let's go to the next one. Okay, this is a now verbal sentence. We have the example. Daraba Zaidun Amran. Okay, in Arabic, the verb comes first. Unlike English, the verb comes in between the subject and the object. Like I eat the cake. So I is the subject, it is the verb, cake is the object. You hit the ball. You will be the subject, hit is the verb, and ball is the object. So the verb comes in between the subject and the object. But in Arabic, the verb comes first. Like this ke daraba. With Japanese, the verb comes last. Okay, so these are all the beauties of the languages in the world. Okay, so for Arabic, the verb comes first. And it will come, okay, you have daraba, this is fi'l madi, in the huwa form. I mean, he form. Daraba means he has hit, right? Then you have Zaidun, a name, Zaidun. You can see Zaidun is in Rafa with a Dhammatain, Zaidun. You have Amran. Amran is in the Nasab form with the Fathatain. Right? So if this is the case, then how do you know who hit who? Who is the doer? Who is the victim? So in any non-verbal sentence, if there is an isim or a noun which is in Rafa, in this case Zaidun, then it is the subject, it is the doer of the verb. And the noun that is in the nasab form with fatha tani, then it will be the victim of the verb. So you will translate this Zaid hit Amran. Okay? Zaid hit Amran. Okay? Zaid hit Amran. That's how you translate it. Okay? Then in the second portion, second example, you have Zaidun daraba Amran. In this case, Zaidun comes before the verb. It comes before the verb. So daraba is the fi'l madi. Daraba is the fi'l madi. And we have Amran is the same, still in the nasab form. So if you look at the translation, it says Zaid, comma, he hit Amran. Okay, the difference between the first example and the second is that the noun in the Rafa form for the first example comes after the verb. And the second example, the subject, in this case, comes before the verb. So what difference does it make? So you look at the translation, the second is Zaid, comma, he hit Amran. The first translation, Zaid hit Amran. There's no he. Okay, you don't translate Zaid, he hit Amran. So in this case, when you have an isim in the rafa form, or you can when you have a subject clearly appears after the verb. In this case, Zaidun being rafa is the subject. So this subject appears after the verb. So this verb is said to be empty of any pronoun, empty of domain. It's empty. So you don't translate he inside daraba. It's just the verb being said. Okay, you have daraba Zaidun. So Zaidun hit Amran. You do not translate daraba as soon as there's a huwa normally, right? Don't say Zaidun he hit Amran. So you don't translate that. So when you have the subject appears after the verb, then the verb is empty of a pronoun. So that's why you just translate Zaid hit Amran. Unlike the second example, we have Zaidun being the in this case is in front of it. Okay, it's in Rafa. So then you have Daraba Amran. You have Daraba Amran, meaning Daraba you translate he hit. So that's why you have the translation Zaid, comma, he hit Amran. Okay, so that's a different thing. So every fi'l, every verb must have a domain or a pronoun or a doer in it, or is followed by an isim in rafa, like in this case. Okay, which is the subject. Okay, so the difference is that whenever you have a noun that is in the rafa form appears after the verb, then that is automatically the subject, the doer of the verb. If it does not have any, I mean, you have Dohaba Amran, that's Dohaba Amran. Dohaba Amran is a complete sentence. Then you have to translate the pronoun inside the verb, in this case, he. So he hit Amran. Okay. The other thing, in this case also, you can also look this thing as also is a Jumlah Ismiyah nested with Jumlah Fi'liyah. You start with Zaidun. Zaidun is a noun, right? So Zaidun, comma. Okay, so that's the subject. The predicate in this case is a verbal sentence. Okay, so that's how you can look at it. It's a Jumlah Ismiyah, it's a nominal sentence with a verbal sentence as the predicate. You get me? Okay, you can look at that as also like that, right? Because it does happen in the Quran. Okay, and normally there will be one sentence. There will be sometimes a verbal sentence within a nominal sentence, or nominal sentence within verbal sentence. So it's quite what they call interlinked or nested, rather nested. Okay, is there any question?
Ustaz, damir is it the same fa'il?
Which one?
Damir.
Dome is also the fa'il.
Damir.
Yeah, dome in this case here
Fa'il,
is the fa'il. The second example, the verb has a dome inside it because there's no subject that appears after it.
Hidden.
So it's hidden. So it's so the file is inside the verb. In the first example, the subject appears, right? So there's no domain inside this verb for the first example. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Oh, tak faham Ustaz. Macam mana? So damir is not the same thing as fa'il.
No.
okay.
Not the same thing.
Okay, the first example, you have the fa'il, the subject.
The subject, fa'il, Zaidan. Zaid.
Because it appears after the verb.
Yeah.
So this verb, doraba, on the first example, does not have a fa'il inside there. Does not have a domain. Okay. The second case, okay, the domain is mustatir, is hidden inside it. So the doer of this verb is he. Doraba, he. Okay, here is he.
How do we know that from the word?
No, because there's no subject appears after the verb. The subject appears before the verb.
So the damir here is what?
He.
This is huwa here. This is huwa. That's why the translation, Zaid, he hit Amran.
But the damir is not Zaid itself as is the fa'il, the doer?
Yes, you can relate it then in that manner. But if you don't have the word Zaid here, let's say you don't have the word Zaid here, that does not exist. If that does not exist, yes, just Doraba Amran. So you have to translate he hit Amran. Okay, who is that he? You have to refer to the earlier sentence. Okay, right, or earlier word.
So that could be a jumlah. Doraba Amra, that could be a jumlah.
Yes, it's complete jumlah. It's a complete
and how do we know that it is he and not she?
Because this verb is for he. If the she is dorabat. At the back.
Okay. And so the damir is, in this case, if it's without Zaidun, then the damir is the daraba. Or it contains damir.
The domain is hidden in daraba.
It's implied.
It's implied. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Right?
And another thing, the object, do we call maf'ulun bih tu as object?
Yes, yes, it is. It is.
It is. So either whether it's human or non-human, the thing that is being acted upon is the maf'ulun bih,
Yes.
Yes.
and
And
it's
will
the
be
same thing
in
as
nasab.
object.
It will be,
Object.
Yeah.
okay, you will have a fatha. We'll take a fatha.
Oh,
Right? You will take a fatha. Okay?
yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, shall we
And the
continue? Eh?
fatha is double fatha here.
If there's no alif lam, that will be the fatha tiny lah. If there's alif lam, that's just a fatha. Right?
Fatha, baris
Atas.
atas, dua baris atas ya, baris apa?
Yeah, fatha tiny. Dual.
Unwin.
Double
Double. Okay? Right? Okay, let us continue.
Yeah.
Okay, now just a recall of the what we learned last week. How the nouns are represented or are written depending on their grammatical condition. Okay, as we know, you have on the right hand side you have rafa. Rafa means high. Rafa'a, raise. You have marfu being raised, right? Raised high. This are actually for the subjects. When you have subject, so you have you have a domatine fa'ilun for singular, fa'ilun, and then for masculine. Okay, for masculine. If it's nasab, that will be the object of a verb or the object of a nasab particles, haraf nasab. Okay, then it will be with a fathatain for singular. Then if it is jar, meaning either is in the object of haraf jar, it comes after haraf jar or the preposition, or it is in the form of mudhaf ilai, it's a mudhaf ilai, in the mudhaf ilai. Then it will be jar, it will be fa'ilin. This for singular, right? And we jump to the plural. Don't worry too much about the dual. There are, but not as many as the plural. Okay, you have fa'iluna. Fa'iluna, it's a waw nun. Plural, it comes with waw nun. If it's nasab, it's fa'ilina, yanun. And for ja, it's also fa'ilina, also yanun. So how the words are presented for nasab and ja in the plural form is the same. Okay, it's the same. Fa'ilina, fa'ilina. So when it's plural, don't look at the last letter na. Then you say everything is nasab. Okay, look at the second letter. Waw nun is rafa. Ya nun can either be nasab or ja. So you have to look at the context, right? Okay, so that is for masculine. For feminine, you have ta marbuta at the end. Normally, you have fa'ilatun, fa'ilatan, fa'ilatin, right? And look at the plural, you have fa'ilatun, fa'ilatin, even though it's nasab, for jamak muannas salim, the feminine plural that follows the format, the normal feminine plural, even for nasab, you will take a kasrah. Okay, take a kasrah. It's limited by that. Meaning, it doesn't take the fatha for the plural feminine, right? Then you can look at the dual, it just with an alif there. Fa'ilani, fa'ilaini, fa'ilaini. How it sounds, laini, fa'ilani, fa'ilaini. Same goes here. Fa'alatani, fa'alataini, fa'alatain. Fa'ilataini. Okay. Don't worry too much about the dual because there are not as many as the plural. Right? Any question? So this is just a recollection what we have learned. So you can identify what are the grammatical position of those words when you see them in a sentence, right? Let's continue then. As for fi'l mudhari, okay, as for fi'l mudhari, because fi'l amr and fi'l madi, these are mabni. You don't discuss their grammatical position because they remain the same. So only the fi'l mudhari changes. That's why the fi'l mudhari is termed as resembling, the resembler. Because it resembles the isim, that it changes in its form due to its grammatical position. We have rafa, nasab, and jazam. Okay, rafa, nasab, and jazam. Don't have ja. Ja is only for isim, and jazam is only for fi'l mudhari. So rafa, you have yaf'alu, singular. Then you have yaf'ala for nasab and yaf'al with a sukun for jazam. For plural form, you have yaf'aluna, just like isim, yaf'aluna, right? With waw nun at the end. And for nasab and jazam, the nun is replaced with alif. Yaf'alu. And this alif sometimes hazaf if you have a domain connected to the fi'l. Okay, this alif sometimes goes missing. It's not returned when you have a domain connected to the fi'l. You can see that later. And so for the dual, you have yaf'alani, yaf'ala, the drop of the nun. Okay, so if you see a nun in the fi'l mudhari, so there is rafa. A nun in fi'l is a rafa. For singular, of course, it's a dhamma. Then otherwise it will be either nasab or ja. And as for plural feminine, like yaf'alna, taf'alna, these are mabnis. Okay, they don't change. They remain the same. So that's why you don't have to worry too much about trying to memorize the female form of the fi'l mudhari. Right? Example, you have yaf'alu, normal plural, you combine with lan. Lan is a harf nasab. Lan converts fi'l mudhari to nasab form. Okay, lan. Lan means never ever. Okay, so you have yaf'alu plus lan, it become lan yaf'ala. And with the dhamma becomes a fathah. And lan yaf'alani, dual, with a lan, the nun drop. You have lan yaf'ala, the nun drop. So this one is nasab form. And yaf'aluna, plural, with a lan, it becomes lan yaf'alu. The nun is replaced with alif. And if the taf'ala with a lan taf'al, taf'alu with a lan become lan taf'ala. Taf'alani with a lan become lan taf'ala. It is a plural form, plural feminine. Yaf'alna with a lan, it remains the same. Lan yaf'alna. Okay? So that's how it works. So okay, home train can be enlarged. It cannot be. Oh, alhamdulillah, it can be enlarged. Easier this case. Right? Okay, now let me just remove this.
Ustaz, minta maaf Ustaz. Have we covered the differences between the different fi'il mudari and fi'il madi and fi'il amar?
Yeah, we did that.
We did that?
We did that in the fi'il portion. The verb.
Boleh recap tak Ustaz?
What's the missing that you don't understand?
Macam tadi, we have the
Faham, I don't understand.
Okay, what do you understand from the verb? Mudhari.
What's the difference between the three of them besides being like perfect past or present tense or
Yeah,
command
Madi is the past tense. Mudhari is the present tense. Or
present or future? And Amar is the command tense.
command verb. Yeah.
So
So
you have to identify them in the Jumlah.
yeah, you need to identify them. Okay. Let's recall. Let's practice the first sentence here. Can we?
Yeah, okay.
So we can recall. Okay. Let's explain each word there. How many words are there? We have Hamza, is a verb. No, it's an isim. It's a question verb. This question is maaf. Sorry. Means or is. Or is a verb lah. It's a question. Are you? Okay. Then you have lam. Lam is a haraf. Lam means did not. Lam means did not. Lam is also a haraf jazam, meaning verb jazam, meaning it only acts upon a fi'l mudhari. It only acts upon fi'l mudhari. Jazam meaning, okay, you have let's example. This naj'ali. Originally it will be naj'alu. Fi'l mudhari ends with a dhamma, right? Can you recall? Fi'l mudhari ends with a dhamma. Its original form is naj'alu with a dhamma. So if the root word is ja'ala, right? Jim ain lam.
Ja'ala.
Naj'alu, what's the translation? Naj'alu. Na means
Naj'alu.
na.
We made. We make.
Okay, we make. Naj'alu, we make. Okay, so it's naj'alu with a sukun, with a dhamma. Then how come it becomes a kasra now? Okay, what happens? After lam, lam is a haraf jazam. It converts naj'alu. Okay, let me just show you to make it clearer. Okay, we have a ja'ala. Right, we have a ja'ala. Right? If that's the fi'l madi, ja'ala, ja'ala. But if a fi'l mudhari, you have a nun here. Nun. So it becomes naj, lu. Right, that's fi'l mudhari. Okay, then you have a lam. You have a lam. Sorry. Then we have a lam in front of najalu. This dhamma becomes a sukun. Okay, this dhamma becomes a sukun. Become a sukun. Become lam naj'al. Okay, but when it's followed by a word.
Dia better kat sini,
Pardon? Doctor, you have a question? Okay, it's followed
Okay, no,
by
it's okay.
an alif lam. And you see that the alif there's it's not the alif, it's the hamza wasal.
Yeah.
There's a dot on top there, right?
Yeah.
There's a dot. Then what happened to facilitate speech, so that's easier on the tongue. You want to say lam naj'al al. This one will be al, right? So it's difficult. So what happened in tajwid form, the sukun is removed and is replaced with a kasra. Lam naj'alil. You get me? This is not because of nahu. The change from sukun to kasra is not because of nahu. It's because of tajwid. Because in the Quran. So you need to understand it. Remember that. Just like this case. That's why. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Like this case here, right? Alam, originally is naj'alu, because of lam become naj'al, but you have a hamza wasal to that. Okay. So the sukun is converted into a kasra to facilitate speech, to facilitate eloquence. So that's called alam naj'alin. Okay,
We have a
so
different screen, Ustaz.
yeah.
We have a different screen.
Pardon?
Yeah, it's not the same screen as what you're reading.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Al-Quran.
Sorry. I think there's something. Hold on. You see now?
Yes.
Okay.
This is right.
Sorry about that. Okay, in this case, you can see here, you have lam here. This naj'al, originally is naj'alu with a dhamma. With a lam in front of it, it becomes naj'al with a sukun.
Yes.
But since it's followed by a hamza wasal, so that to facilitate eloquence, to facilitate tajweed, so the sukun is changed into a kasra. So you can say alam naj'alil arda. Otherwise you have to read alam naj'al al arda, which is not, it's not smooth, right? So this kasra here under the fi'l mudhari is not because of nahu, it's because of tajweed. Okay, it's because of tajweed. So you don't say that this fi'l mudhari is the ja. Okay, okay. Ja only happens to isim, not to fi'l mudhari. Okay, right? So whenever you see a fi'l mudhari in ja, it's because it actually is jazam. It actually sukun that change to kasra to facilitate tajweed. Okay, right? Okay, so you have this verb naj'al because of lam, it becomes naj'al. So the doer of this verb is we. So that's the fa'il, the subject. Okay, we make. What do we make? You have al-arda in nasab with a fathah on dot. On the dot, there's a fathah. Because it has an alif lam, so they don't have a tanwin, they have not al-ahdon, because the alif lam, so it's al-ahdon. So it's nasab. Why is it nasab? Because it's the object of this verb. We make the earth. We make the earth. Mihada means like laid out means like a carpet. So it becomes the second object. So in fact, it's al-arda mihada. We make the earth as a carpet or something that is laden out. Okay, so both are nasab. Al-arda with just a fathah because it has alif lam, and mihadan with a tanwin fathatani because of the alif lam. So this is a complete sentence. You translate it. Did we not? Did we not? So lam is did we? Did not. So did we not make the earth laden out like a carpet? Okay, right? So that's the first sentence. Do you understand?
No,
Ustaz,
no. Okay.
Yeah, please.
The word the fi'l naj'al and been translated as we, where from the word is do we know whether it's we or I? Because in this case it refers to Allah, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The nun.
The nun.
Remember, for the fi'l mudhari, if it's a ya, it's a third person. Begins with ya, third person. Begins with ta, second person. Beginning with alif is I. Beginning with nun is nahnu, we. So
In this case it's not language, but it is because it is the Quran, the revealed words. So Allah chooses it there to be we, as opposed to he could have used alif for I.
yeah, sometimes he does use alif, I. Sometimes there is ahad, like we have before, ahad, I.
So this has got nothing to do with the grammar. Is Allah's choice of using
That's not
we
grammar.
or I. Okay.
How he relates himself. Okay? Right? So that's not because of grammar, this is because the word itself is najal. Okay?
No.
So did we not, okay, did najala, did we not? Did we not make the earth like a carpet or laid enough? Right? So that's the first sentence. Any more questions?
Ustaz,
Yes.
please, the noon, the najal, the noon.
Yeah.
We say is it a pronoun or it's not? It's a pronoun, right?
It's a pronoun. It's a
From
pronoun.
from nahnu.
Yes.
Nahnu.
Okay. So, yes. So we have alif for first person. Alif like Anna for first person.
Yes.
And then we have tau for second person, anta.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
and we have yai for third person.
Yes, correct, brother.
And the noon, which kind of person can we say is a third person plural? I mean first person plural or the noon? How can we classify the noon, please?
But first person plural, nahnu, either 2 or 3 persons or more, nahnu. In this case, when Allah refers to himself as nahnu, we, it's not because there's plural, the 2 or 3 Allah, no, not that, ya'udzubillah. It's the term that he used for authority. Just like if you see the Queen of England, she will address it as we. She addresses it as we. Show authority. Right? Okay?
No.
Okay. Right. Now, any more question on the first sentence? Okay. Let's go to the second sentence. We have wa al-jibala autada. You have 3 words there. You have wa means and. Al-jibala, jibal, jabal, jabal Uhud, jabal Tur means mountain. So this al-jibala is the mountains. And then in the general form, the mountains. Autada is sticks. Okay, like sticks to actually make the earth firm, to stay firm, to stay. Okay, that's how called. But now you have wow is just means and, right? Then you have al-jibala. It's also in the nasab form because it has a fathah on lam. And autadan also nasab form with a fathatain, right? This is nasab. Then why is it nasab? You know that the wow and that does not have any grammatical influence, and that doesn't have any grammatical effect. So what happens is that this wa is also known as wa ataf, wow and meaning it actually brings the effect of naj'ali across to this ayat here also. So that's wow. That's why jibala is also nasab, because it's also the object of naj'al. And autada is a second object. So and the mountains as sticks. So there are 2 sentences but 1 jumlah. Okay, taking alam. Did we not make the earth like later now, and the mountains as sticks, like sticks? Okay, so this is a case of where you have 2 sentences forming 1. I mean 2 ayats, right? 2 ayats forming one jumlah, 1 sentence. Okay. Any question?
Ustaz.
Yes.
So from the rules of nouns that we learned previously, we say that wal jibala and autadan, they are all nouns. They are all ism because this one ends with tanween. This one also has a ma'rifa. It has alif or lam. Wal jibala, it has alif or lam.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Right. Now look at the second sentence.
Sorry, Ustaz. So in this case, in Arabic, the ayat may not be a complete jumlah. Yeah, it is possible that one ayat is not a jumlah.
It's not a complete jumlah. It's a complete, but it can be added on with the second ayat.
Is this true of Arabic language or just the style of the Quran?
The start of the Quran.
The style of the Quran, eh?
Yeah.
Ah.
The example below, these are long ayat. There are many jumlah there. When you have the second, the one al-hajju ashhur ma'lumat, you have a wakaf sign there, wakaf symbol, a jim symbol here, right? The jim symbol. Could you see this jim here? So this is one jumlah. It's one jumlah. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the top. We go to wa khalaqnakum azwajan. Wa khalaqnakum azwajan. How many words are there? Can you help me? Anyone can help me?
Wa khalaqakum.
Wa khalaq.
We have four. We have four. We have four. We have five. Sorry, we have five words.
One.
Now we have wow is one.
One.
And then khalaqa is number
One.
two.
Lakum is
And
one.
then the na is number three.
Then.
And then kum is number four.
Mm-hmm.
And then azwajan is number five.
Okay. Okay, you are almost correct. Actually, are four. Khalaqna is one word. Like this case, ja'alna also one word. Khalaqna is a fi'l madi. Remember, when you have a domain at the back of the verb, is a fi'l madi. So khalaqna, the doer, the subject is nahnu. Still we. Okay. Okay, so it's a fi'l madi. Right? Khalaqna. So khalaqna, the root word is khalaqa. Created. So khalaqna, we have created, or we created. Right? Khalaqna. Kum is a domain. Kum is a domain. Domain that is connected to the verb automatically becomes an object, becomes a maf'ulun bih. Okay, automatic. When you have a verb, a domain connected to a verb, that is automatically the object of the verb. So khalaqnakum, we created you. We created you. You all. Okay, kum. Plural. You plural. Azwajan. Okay, azwajan also in nasab. Azwajan means azwajan, your no, that's right. I have to recall the English term. Azwajan. Spouses.
Spouses.
Spouses. Also your double. Okay, your spouses. Normally it's spouses. So khalaqnakum azwajan. Right. So and we created you spouses. We created for you spouses. Or okay. Right. Or not created you spouses. We created you in pairs.
We created you. We created you in pairs. Yes.
We created you in pairs. Right. That's right. So this is a fi'l madi. Khalaqna is fi'l madi. The doer of that verb is nahnu. Kum is the first object and azwajan second object. So that's how you understand the sentence. And we created you in pairs. Right? Now, any question for this third sentence?
Uzaz.
Yeah.
The pronoun kum is maf'ulun bihi.
Yes.
But why is it not nasab? Why is it not fatha? As we learned this afternoon or this earlier before now, we learned that maf'ulun bihi is always fatha.
Okay. Kum is domain. Domain is mabni. Domain doesn't change.
Naam, shukran.
Okay.
Shukran. Shukran.
Look at the fourth sentence. We have how many words there are? We have wa.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Ja'alna.
Ja'alna.
There's 3.
Then
There are five. Ustaz, there are five.
Naumakum.
Nauma.
Naumakum.
Nauma and then kum.
Subata.
Then Subata,
Subata.
there are 5.
You have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have wa, ja'alna, nauma, kum, subata. Okay. Now, wa is the same. Wa means and. It's a continuing story, continuing sentence.
Wow.
Now,
And
6.
look at ja'alna and naja'alna. Naja'al. Okay, it's the same root word. Jim Ain Lam, Jim Ain Lam.
the
This one noon comes in the front, so it's a fi'l mudari. It's an imperfect tense. Okay, this one is okay. It's a okay when ja'alna is a perfect tense. So we have created. Okay, but najal, even though it's imperfect tense, that's why they look at the tense. Since it follows lam, it actually is in the past tense form because lam is did not. Okay, just like the English did not, you did not do, you don't say did not, did. You did not go, you don't say did not went. Okay, so it's the same thing. So did not we created. In this case, wajalna and we have created. Nauma means sleep. Sleep in the noun form. In the noun form. In the noun form. So kum you. So nauma kum is in mudaf ilayh. Nauma is isim. Is the object of ja'alna. Nauma. Because only isims can be the object of verb. If you have a verb as an object of a verb, you have to have an an before that. We'll show you that later, but practically speaking or theoretically speaking, only isim can be the object of verbs. And that's why he becomes nasab, nauma. And he has lost his tanwin because it's mudaf. Naumakum, your sleep. Your sleep. Naumakum. It is mudaf ilayh. Kum being domain, so it's mabni. So kum is mabni, so you cannot does not change. So now makum is your sleep. Subatan as a rest. Subatan as a rest. R-E-S-T, right? Resting, for resting. So waja'alna, and we have created your sleep for resting. So that's how you understand the sentence. And now ma is in nasab because it is it's a maf'ulun bi for ja'alna. Kum it is in mudaf ilay. So kum is in ja. Now ma in nasab, kum is in ja because kum is mudaf ilay. Subatan is in nasab because it's second object. Right? Okay?
So subata is isim, ya, Ustaz?
Pardon?
Yes.
Subata is isim, ya?
Your tanwin? Tanwin ni kan?
Yeah.
Tanwin is isim. Okay? Any more question to this one? Okay, let's take a break for 10 minutes. Okay,
Okay.
and it's past 1 hour, and then we come back. Now it's 9:35. Come back at 9:45. Okay, right?
Okay.